Hey brand baby, it's your ghetto country brand mother, and I want to talk to you guys about your shiny object syndrome. I've decided that I'm going all in on this because of a recent discovery of my own clients, my existing clients, of the shiny object chasing that we do. And I do put myself in that group because I love a shiny object. I'm not gonna lie. It's not always diamonds, but it's still some shiny shit. But I want to talk to you about how shiny object syndrome shows up in your branding. And there's 3 areas that I can think of off the top of my head. One is your audience. If you don't have a clearly defined audience, and I'm not talking avatar, I'm talking audience. If you don't have a clearly defined ATM, which is your available target market where your money resides, everybody goes to the ATM for money. But your shiny object syndrome can show up in your audience because you think it's okay to try and market to everyone because you're starting out. And it could be a good thing, but you know what? It would be even better if you narrowed it down. Another place your shiny object syndrome will show up is in all the offers. Oh my gosh. Having such an extensive list of things to offer people is great if you're a bigger company, but when you're a party of one, sweetie, you need to hone in and focus on marketing what you do well. I didn't tell you to stop doing the things that you do well. I'm just talking about from a perspective of marketing, how you show up and how you do the things of all this shiny goodness. How about that? But you have to look at it from, you don't have to offer everything, but then when you get a client on the phone, you know which offer to give them. There's something that's going to bring them through the door consistently. But then as you get better at building your business and defining and deciding what your clients need from you at that moment, you get on the phone and say, well, yes, this is the offer. And I'm not talking about a bait and switch. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm talking about getting on the phone and let me not lose my train of thought, but having that conversation and recognizing that you might even have to say, you know what, baby, I'm not the one for you. Let me refer you to someone else. So, like I said, shiny object syndrome, show up in your audience, your ATM, showing up in your offers. And the last place it kind of shows up, and I'm not saying last, I said off the top of my head, but see, trying to keep my own shiny object in check. But the other place is in your messaging. Having a clear core message from which all other messages are built, whether it's content on your social media, the books you create, whatever. Having it all stem from a core message is how you show up. And it's how you keep putting out all of this greatness because your message is consistent. If you don't know what to put out today because you put something else out yesterday, and it's like, okay, what else do I say to them? It's a whole ass situation of having a core message to go out into the world with. It's a thing, trust me. So I want you to recognize your shiny object syndrome in your brand. Look at your audience. Your ATM is where your money resides. I'm never going to stop saying that. It is where your ideal client is. And so I want to give you a frame of reference. One of my favorite movies, not my all-time favorite is School Days, but one of my favorite movies is Lord of the Rings. And there was one ring to rule them all. Everybody was chasing this ring, this shiny object. So if you think about it, that one ring that could rule them all, that one ring can rein in all of your offers in such a way that, you know what, this is how I package this thing. Your shiny object can ring, that one ring can ring in your audience of recognizing who is in here. So having that one ring to rule them all. And your message, you have one core message that rules them all. Let me give you an example. I have done things in my life, and I'm talking work experience, don't get nasty. I'm talking work experience in that I've owned a restaurant, I'm a certified coach, and I've written books, okay? So my core audience is made up of authors, creators, mostly a lot of creators, cooks, and coaches and consultants. So it's all these different things. Cooks, coaches, and consultants, or cooks, coaches, and creators. Let me get it right. So I have all of those people within my audience. So what is one ring that can rule them all? Shiny object syndrome. Baby, I got that one in spades. And it's something that I can relate to. And so when I'm talking to you and I'm saying, you know what? It's okay to have shiny object syndrome. It's just a matter of finding that one ring, that one shiny object that rules them all. So when you put out a message, when my core message is, you know what? Part of what I do is I'm trying to change the statistics of from business failing within 5 years. That's just my own personal mission. It's not my business mission. But then it's also part of, you know what, I think people need to be more ethical in their behavior in their business. There's all these different things that are part of my core message that I can bring to the forefront. But a big thing that ties all of them together is shiny object syndrome. And you have to have a little bit of that if you're going to be a solopreneur, because you have to do all the things. You have to wear all the hats. You have to have a basic understanding of a whole lot of shit. But I want you to have shiny object syndrome only long enough to understand it, make enough money that you can now hire someone to do that thing and get rid of that shiny object, because you probably lost interest in it anyway. Nobody fucking likes bookkeeping except bookkeepers. So why are you trying to hold on to that shiny object? You're looking at your bank account, and yeah, that's fine, but we need to get it together. So you can have one ring that rules them all, but you just got to figure out which ring it is. Like I say, mine is coaches, consultants. I keep saying coaches and consultants, and I kind of put them together. But coaches, creatives, and cooks. And when I talk about cooks, I'm talking about restaurant owners, because I had a restaurant. I had two, along with a catering company. I did business coaching once I left the restaurants, which led me down the path to now doing brand strategy. So having that one ring that rules them all, the way I package my thing and how I do my thing, I don't talk about being a business coach and a life coach. Sweetie, I do branding. And I do not do visual shit. I can't do pretty shit. Not like that. I can write some pretty poetry. You wrote a book about it. But I cannot make visual representation of the branding that I do. So my one ring that rules them all is me being a brand strategist. So when I talk about brand strategy, you're going to get some business and life coaching just on the strength that, you know what, it's just in me to do it, because it makes you better. So I just wanted to talk to you about that. I want to talk to you about your shiny object syndrome. It's okay. It feels like a big distraction and a flaw, or at least that's how I saw it in naming mine. But it is finding that one ring to rule them all. All of my people, you know what, we're shiny object chasers, and I'm cool with that. But helping people to rein in that shiny object crazy, I'm good at that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Peace and hair grease.